What's up, guys? Back at it again for another episode of Tatted Up. It's been a long time. My special guest today is Joel Alcocer, aka the El Chupacabra. How you doing today, man?
Good, good. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Glad to be on the show today. I just want to recap with everybody, with the viewers. I know it's been about 7 months since last episode with episode 5. It's been a long gap of next episode, so I'm sorry about that. But today's a new episode, episode 6. So I wanted to talk about some things for this year. Since it's a new year, it's 2021. It's the first month of the year, so let's get into it. So I've been seeing on social media last night, like the last 15, 16 hours ago, that the fight, the main event, the main card for March, uh, Mexican Panda Jose Alcocer versus me, KT Killer. Keegan. Well, when I said everybody's blowing up. Like, is this fight gonna happen? Everyone's like, what happened to the one back in November 7th, 2020? Okay, so let's just get a really, really quick update of that. It was just some personal things between each fighters. Something was going on between everybody, so we had to postpone everything to March of this year. So everybody's gonna be fighting in March now instead of last year. So just to recap that, if everyone was just wondering what happened, but so basically that's all I wanted to recap from last year. But this is what I want to talk about because main video is about what is everyone gonna expect for this main event in March. It's March 6th, between me and Alcacer. And basically, I think it's gonna be a good fight. No one thought this was ever gonna happen, and it's the first, I guess, pay per view, but not really. But like basically for the ABC middleweight champion. So basically, me and Jose will be fighting for the ABC title that night for the championship. We're still working on what's going to happen that night, but we're pretty sure we're confirmed for everything, the numbers and everything, and the rounds and the minutes, everything's looking good. But so Joe, I was going to ask, what do you think about these main events, of these fights? Where,
Well,
oh, go ahead, sorry.
honestly, two of my fighters are on the same card, so basically, I just feel like in the main card with you and my other fighter, I feel like it's gonna be a very, very close fight. Both of you guys are very experienced. One is a heavy fighter, the other one is has such a high IQ in the ring. So I just feel that it's gonna be a close fight, and I'm almost 100% sure that it's gonna go to decision.
No, yeah, I mean, I think due all respect to him, your brother, fighting me that night. I mean, it's gonna make YouTube history between two of the greatest. You got a Hispanic versus an Irish person, basically. I know it's like, oh, an Irish versus Mexican. It's like the battle of the countries, but I think that's what I think the battle for. But I mean, I'm not really representing anybody like Ireland or USA. I mean, I'm fighting for myself and the company and the fans to see. But everyone thinks that's Irish versus Mexican. I mean, honestly, if that's what people see it as, I mean, whatever. I mean, I'm gonna defend the flag regardless. That's one of my percentages of my race, and it's gonna be a good fight. But honestly, in my opinion of this fight, I mean, it's gonna be a close one. I mean, this guy's been training for 7 months. I've been training for 7 months since last November, and I think this fight was meant to be happening and making the history of it to start off EBC correctly of the fight. But I want to talk about the undercards of the fights that night. We have two other fights that night, and I want to start with the first one that everybody is really excited to see too for the undercard. We got Miguel versus Luis for the middleweight division, and this is their debuts in the company. And I think these two guys are really good fighters and they have good techniques and IQs in the ring. Like you said, you train Miguel and Jose, and I see that you're training really good fighters. What do you think is going to expect? What's your prediction of Miguel versus Luis that March 6th?
Honestly, both of my fighters really excel in the power in their punches, but the difference that makes Miguel like special is he is a very speedy fighter. So he has the speed, he has the snappiness, he also has that long reach, which is such a big advantage. So honestly, I just feel that it might end with a knockout for
You think
Miguel's fight.
what
Yeah,
do you think? In what round would he knock him out? Since it's a 4 round bout with them two, what do you think if he's gonna knock him out in early round? You think it's gonna last all 4 rounds with them two? What do you,
3 to 4, the third or the fourth round.
you think he's gonna be a knockout between
Yeah,
five and Miguel?
body, body shot,
Body shot. You think
body shot.
you can take a shot? You think you can knock make Luis get a good head hit and then make him fall or something? What do you think?
Well, we have been practicing the crit shots, so basically the sternum and the liver, and he's been showing signs of actually having the capability of showing it in the ring. So I feel like it's gonna be a late round knockout.
Late night rock out. Well, I think if Miguel, if you think you have all the support and uh, votes on him thinking win that fight against Luis. I mean, by expect the Luis sparring videos I've been watching on the internet and videos, private videos, him sparring his brothers and friends and stuff like that. I mean, Luis has an upcoming way to winning this fight too. I'm not saying that I think he's gonna win, but I believe one of these fighters could win this fight. It could maybe end a draw. We never saw a draw in our company so far. Mainly people won so far. But I predict that maybe this fight might be a draw. And I don't know. I mean, I think Miguel could win it or Luis could win it. It's a 50-50 match. You know, they're same size, same size, same weight, same reach. They probably have, it's going to be a very close fight between them two. But I definitely think that one of them are going to walk out winning this fight. And then hopefully in the near future, they'll challenge the champion of the main event between me and Jose. And then I want to talk about the other match that night. We have Jesus, aka Chewy Nation One. I bet he's watching this right now. He's probably happy to see another video of this. It's been a minute, but Jesus, I want to talk about last year in August. I want to speak about this with you, your opinion and stuff about this. Since Chewy's now 0-1 right now after defeating me in the fourth round by a knockdown by a good swing to the head, and I fell down one knee. I think that Chewy is a good fighter, and he needs someone to fight. And these fighters that are looking at him, he's 1-0. He's the EBC heavyweight champion. There's somebody out there that has to go against him, but I don't think anyone's man enough or has the balls to stand up to his face to go 1-on-1 for the belt. But I believe there's some people in this world that will stand up to him. And honestly, what do you think about Chewy? Like about his whole boxing since last year?
Well, I just know that Chewy's a very good fighter. He has such a large ring IQ. He's also very powerful. He could take a punch for sure. So honestly, what I think of Chewy, he's just an overall great fighter. He's an up and coming star for sure.
Oh, definitely. I mean, he's showing that in his fight. It's been about 7 months since last time he fought somebody, which was me back in August of 2020. And hopefully somebody will take the chance to step up and face him for the title that night. I mean, I heard there's a couple guys. I think a guy named Andres might challenge him that night, or maybe this guy named Ronnie might step up. These are two upcoming heavyweight guys. We're gonna see if one of them are gonna take the chance to go against him that night for the belt, or maybe not. We don't know. But I feel like Chewy needs a competition to get in there. There's nobody in the heavyweight division right now for him to fight after he beat me that last fight. But I feel like Chewy needs a competitor that can match his level of skills and technique. He needs somebody. I mean, we don't know what's going to happen to him. Maybe he'll fight someone in March. Hopefully, rumors said there might be a fight with him. We don't know yet, but hopefully there'll be somebody with that and everything. Um, so I wanted to talk about you for your last fight since you've been gone for 7 months
I
after
have.
this fight. Yeah, you've been gone since last fight. Basically, you cold card my fight last year, and I wanted to ask about what you felt during the camp, the day of the fight, and after the fight. I want to ask these main questions to you. So before you started, what made you decide to join this boxing world and decide to come into it to be a boxer?
Well, honestly, it all just started. Of course, Jose was on your podcast, The Mexican Panda, and you guys started talking about the event, you versus Jesus or Chuy Nation One, and I decided to comment on that podcast, and from there, history was made.
Excuse me. What was your thoughts when you commented that? Like, what was going through your mind when you're like, I want to co-card with this main event? Like, what did you want? Like, what was the reason you wanted to get into it?
Honestly, I at first I didn't really think you were gonna respond or this was even gonna happen at all because it was just a very slight chance, you know. But then the day after, I'm pretty sure you hit me up, you added me, and we made the call, and later, start training for camp, and
Oh yeah,
the fight happens.
I definitely remember that the call and everything. I just didn't know what experience you had and how the courage, you like the encourage to get into the sport and step in the ring with no experience. Is that correct? You had zero experience walking into the sport, and you're like, I'm gonna try it out. You know,
Correct? Yeah, it's your experience.
and that you're just now just got about almost 7 months of experience now so far of your
Yep.
boxing journey since of that year. So I want to get down to the camp. So how did you think about the camp training with me and Jose and others? How did you feel training with these guys to become a boxer? Like,
Well, camp was of course rough. It was an emotional roller coaster for sure. There was a lot of ups and downs. But I just feel camp made me an overall better person. You're a very good trainer, and I thank you for everything you did. If it weren't for you, I would have gotten knocked out early rounds. But it was an overall good fight, and training camp was an experience for sure.
no, definitely, I see that. When you were working out, there a time, a point that you wanted just to give up and stop, and like you wanted to tell your team, like, hey, I can't do this anymore. I think the boxing thing should be called off. You think I just can't be ready. Did you have that point, your breaking point? Have you ever just had that breaking point in that camp that you just wanted to just stop and just like, nah, frick this, I'm done.
Oh yeah, always, almost every day. I would always doubt myself after a round of sparring and just taking a beating. I would for sure doubt myself.
Oh, definitely understand. But I feel like, did you take something and learn lessons for this whole camp of those 4 to 3 months of training? And it was a little short gap just before the fight because it was in August and the call out was in May in 2020. That during that 3 month gap, almost four, you're going through it. Did you learn something out of it to become, a better boxer?
Well, skill wise, honestly, I learned a lot. I learned the fundamentals. I learned how to keep up with other boxers with experience. But emotionally and mentally, yeah, I learned a lot. It made me mentally more mature.
I see that. So when we were building up to the fight in August, that week, that press conference week and the weigh-ins, what was your mindset at that time? Did you feel confident, more or less confident? How did you feel during that time period when it was getting closer to the fight?
Oh yeah, I felt confident. I felt like I was the number one. I felt like I ruled the world. Yeah, I came in with way too much confidence.
I feel like that. Well, at least you weren't feeling doubt before the beginning of the fight,
No, yeah.
the training. When you got to it, so we're gonna get to the day of the fight. When you got in that ring, how did you feel when you walked to that ring? Your first time walking to that ring with me as your corner guy. When you got into that ring, what was the energy building into, like, how did the environment feel for you when you walked into that arena?
Excitement, 100% excitement. When I went into the ring, no fear at all.
You feel any
No fear. I just went in there. I did what I had to do before the bell rang, even after the bell rang. No fear at all. I was just there to do what I was gonna do.
definitely. So I wanted to break down the 3 rounds between you and Isaac Martinez, which he's a good fighter, and I see that he's going to be hopefully getting a fight sooner or later this year. But I wanted to break down with you versus him. when the first round started, what did you feel? What was the energy between you and him when you were going one on one? The bell rang, you were going. What did you feel between you?
Coming in before, after the bell rang, like I said, no fear at all. I just came in and do what I was gonna do. Then, um, always, the first couple of shots they kind of just wake you up, you know. We started trading a little bit of shots, but his experience showed in the ring, and I don't take that away from him. He's a very good fighter.
He is a good fighter. Did you by any chance in the during the fight, did you think he had the upper hand, or do you feel like he was taking control so far throughout any rounds to get you to be in that mood, like you can't continue or get over him or overcome him during the fight?
Most of the fight, I feel like he had control on most of the fight, but like I said, it just comes with experience, and he showed experience in the ring, and he was just better than me at the time.
Yeah, okay. So when we get to the last round, when you finally thought, did you think you were last all those 3 rounds when you got in the ring with him? You thought it was like, oh no, I'm not gonna make it past the first round or second round. How did you feel when you got to the third round with him? Like that was the final round with him. How did you feel? Did you think that you make it that far? Or you think you would lost by before that?
No, I knew even after the first round, I knew I was gonna make it through the whole rounds, but it was just it was like a normal sparring session for me. I didn't feel that much of an adrenaline.
Okay, so when we got to the final round with him, you guys touched gloves for the respect that you guys both made that far together. Basically, when you got to that last minute, 30 seconds, what was going through your mind to think that you would try to win the fight or try to get a draw or something like that? What was going through your mind when that last minute or 30 seconds was last minute or so left? You're going with him before the round ended. What did you think was going through your mind? Did you think you were going to win it?
All the rounds, from 1 to 3, except the 30 seconds, went very quick. I have a vague understanding of what really happened because it was just like a normal sparring session. I was focused on what I needed to do, and I did it. But the last 30 seconds, I remember was just everything went slow motion. I saw all the punches coming, but um, experience, like I said.
Yeah, you got to experience the fight between you and him for the first time. You guys both debuted that day, the same as me and Chuy that same night as well. After the fight was over, after the referee and the judges decided, and they said it was a decision that Isaac won, basically a split decision, 2 rounds over one. The one judge took 1 round for you to win it, and then the 2 other ones put it to Isaac. When the judges put that basically a split decision, how did you feel when the ref said, when basically the judges said that it was basically Isaac won that fight? How did you feel after that?
Well, I knew that it was gonna be a split decision. It couldn't have been a unanimous decision. Of course, they didn't contest like all the illegal shots he got on me, but I knew it was gonna be either a split decision. I for sure knew it wasn't gonna be a unanimous for sure. I knew it was gonna be a split because from all the low blow shots in the back of the head shots that he got on me.
I mean, yeah, the referee did give him warnings, a couple of warnings, but
Yeah,
not get deducted 2 or 1 point off of the legal hits of the body shots to the almost to the head a lot. The ref basically was just seeing that it was not even taking the points off, which I see that your corner and their corner were kind of arguing about it because they thought it was not a bad shot. It was a fine legal shot, but technically they saw it more. Even the replays of it, they still think it was not a bad shot, and they shouldn't. They should have ducked it 2 points, and it could have been a draw or something.
yeah.
That, but deep down, they still decided that Isaac still won. I mean, due to our respect for you two guys, with sportsmanship after the fight and stuff like that, see that you guys are really, good competitors in that ring. Hopefully, do you guys think you guys see each other again in that ring, pass in the path again, cross each other, and basically cross each other's paths to get in that ring one more time to show off?
No, yeah, for sure, for sure. I would like to fight him again, and maybe this year I'm planning on fighting him or next year. That would be a good fight.
Definitely see that. We would love to see the maybe a year mark later on or 2 year mark to see what you guys improved over the
Rematch.
match to see who's the better guy again after last year. Maybe they could be this year. You don't know. But that was a intense fight for you. You took an L, but you how do you bounce back from a loss like that after 7 months of after I heard that you were injured during the first couple months after head and body injury. You come
Yeah.
and
Well, technically, like I've always thought about it this way. You're gonna take losses in your life, so I just took it. I didn't take the loss very personally because I know it's gonna happen. You sometimes win, you sometimes lose, so you just gotta accept that you lost. But yeah, after the after the loss, oh, there's a funny story. Um, Basically, the next day I woke up with uh, a severe concussion, but the next day I went to go work, and with the severe concussion, so basically I couldn't make it through the whole day. It was very painful.
how was your feeling the recovery of the injuries of your head bodies after this couple months? What was going through you? What did you do to rehab yourself back to normal to get back into the conditioning and working out again?
Um, a lot of sports rehab for sure. And just taking a break mentally and physically, that really helped a lot.
I see that. Well, definitely that's gonna hopefully see you in the ring again, hopefully again sooner or later. But
Yeah.
I mean, I lost two that night again. I got TKO'd by Chuy in the fourth round. I mean, I kind of felt really upset. What my mindset during that fight was really a lot. It was a lot of pressure to me because everybody wanted to see the underdog beat the big dog in this fight, and the underdog didn't get a chance to beat the big dog down. I mean, I got a couple good hits on him. He did got a lot of good shots to my head, to the body. I kind of went down a couple of times. The ref was checking before, he was gonna call it end over earlier in the rounds, but I got back up and pushed through it to get through those rounds. I wish I lasted all the rounds, but hopefully next year or so, me and Chewy go one on one again. Hopefully he's still champion by then. I'll take his title and become the next champion. But we'll see. I mean, he's got a big fight coming up too, so we'll see if he still retains the title or not, or maybe he'll just not. We don't know. We'll see of these fights. Before we go, I wanted to talk about a couple of things before this thing ends. So, Joe, do you think that you'll be joining the ring or jumping back into the ring sooner than you think that the timeline will come back to you? Do you think you'll be coming back? Is there a certain date or time that you'll be returning to the ring?
Yeah, I really do want to return to the ring. Hopefully by April, mids of April. But the thing is, we just need to find an opponent, and I'm asking everybody, whoever comments on this video and is on that 115 or 120 range, I'll fight you.
Definitely. If you have someone that wants to fight Mr. Joel Alcocer for the 115, 120 pound limit for the featherweight EBC title, it's a vacated title right now. Joel is putting basically EBC is putting the title on the line in April. If he wants to fight if someone wants to step up and comment or text, call us on the social media or him as well, just hit him up. He's looking for anybody around that range for the title. I mean, hopefully we can get a good fighter to come up and take him on and fight for him for the featherweight title. I mean, we'll see if he will, but we'll see that. Hopefully you get back in the ring in April, and hopefully that fight will happen. If not, we'll see what happens. But mainly the big mark of this podcast before it ends is the two egos of these fighters, me versus Jose. Everybody catching your votes. Who you think is gonna win? You got the battle of the egos here. You got the KT Killer, that's me, versus the Mexican Panda, Jose. Two guys, two upcoming YouTubers, upcoming boxers as well, coming into a ring, step in there, and I'm really excited to see what's gonna happen, what this man's gonna throw at me. I mean, this is gonna be an intense fight. I mean, it's been 7 months for me since I stepped back in the ring, and people ask me if I'm gonna come back, and I'm coming back in March, and I think I've been training since then, and this fight's gonna be really intense. I'm ready for the
It
hype.
really is.
Social media blowing up for the past almost 24 hours, nearly, but everyone's excited. People are calling out other people. People want to challenge the winner of these fights. But definitely, everybody come watch March, the big main event between Alcocer versus Traver, and the main event for the middleweight title, and also co-carding that fight, Martinez versus
Melchor.
Miguel Melchor. Sorry if I pronounced your name wrong. I'll take it the wrong way. A lot of people have really unique names. Basically,
Yeah.
Luis or whoever, you know, these two fights are the biggest fights that are happening in EBC history. We're gonna see two good middleweight fights happening the same night, and hopefully we're gonna see maybe an exhibition or an official heavyweight championship fight for Chuy. Hopefully he gets to step in the ring again and fight somebody. We don't know. We'll see what happens in this event. Well, everybody, hit that like and subscribe button. Hit that notification for latest videos. I know it's been a really long time since I uploaded a video on this podcast. I'm trying to do it daily that I can. So I hit one today because I wanted to update everything's going on this year. If you're not new to that, hit that subscribe button. I know you guys love these podcasts. It's beautiful. I get to interview all my good friends and special people in this world to talk about boxing, the world, and their lives and advice in this world. Anyways, this is the end of the podcast. This is Tatted Up. I'm your host, Keegan. Thanks again, Joe, being on the podcast. Hope to see you on the show again later on. And also a new upcoming podcast coming up. Shout out to it, the new Joel Alcocer Locker Room podcast. I know it's a little cheesy name, but he's gonna up sooner or later. He's gonna make that account soon, and then you guys can build him up. Shout out to that podcast. He's gonna start making his own stuff and content out there. Go watch and support him for his stuff, boxing, anything he's talking about. Anyways, hit that like, subscribe button. Everybody enjoy. Comment below what you guys want to see next. Everything. We'll see you March 6th, 2021 for the main event. Peace
Let's
out.
make history.